Okay, we are live and we are talking about manga in our show Mangaplaining. Kaftui, welcome.
Welcome, Web Monkey.
Thank you. Always nice to feel welcome.
Hey, everybody.
And today we are talking about Garo magazine. And if you don't know Garo magazine, it's like a counterculture.
Sort of experimental.
Yeah.
It's very
experimental manga.
hard to get hold of because they stopped doing it, of course, at some point. It was very much of its time.
Even when it was of its time, it was not as much printed as like the regular manga magazines or tankobon.
Yeah. It was very much a manga magazine for dedicated fans of manga, like the real, otaku crowd.
People in the know. Also a kind of a hipster flavor as well.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. And you'll definitely see some interesting things when we open it up. Can't quite...
I was going to say, we're talking about it as if it's from ages ago, but it's only from 1991, and then I realized it's 2021 now. That is actually ages ago. Time flies.
440 yen. Well, this is the one I want to talk about because I want to read the cat soup one, but I'll show you my earliest Garo.
Oh, sweet. He says, running off away from the camera.
Yeah.
Well, and the microphone.
So, earliest one I have is 1967.
That's pretty vintage looking.
Yeah.
Even just from the paper. People can see that colouring.
Yeah, it's getting very yellow there.
Yeah. We should have gloves on for that one. Oh, and there's camera then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got these hole punches for some reason. I'm not sure why.
That doesn't go all the way through though, right? Just
so
on the cover.
I'm not sure why someone would do that.
That's so weird.
Interesting. So a lot of these...
Peach Hyper reckons they can smell it. Yes, the smell of old books.
A lot of these I bought from Mandarake.
Thanks for joining us.
In Japan.
Yeah.
You couldn't get these at Book Off.
No. I don't think I've ever seen one of them at Book Off.
No.
Yeah. No, Mandarake, for people that don't know it, is a specialty store. And yeah, that's where to go to get this kind of thing. It's got some very cool stuff in it. Yeah, maybe it could have been on a string. I don't know. It's just in the cover. That's the weird thing about the holes. Yeah.
Something cool on the back. So there's this really famous... oh, no, that's not this one. So there's this famous manga called... it's like the screw or something. The turning of the screw or something like that.
Yep.
And these are like Garo computer games.
Oh, that's cool.
For like the PC or MSX, I think was like the Japan version of the PC.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's something cool on the back. Why don't we dive into it?
Exciting.
Yeah. So Mokuji at the front.
Yep. Always good to have a table of contents.
Yep.
Know what you get into. I love that little picture there.
Yeah. It's a very arty, this magazine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bend it too much because I don't want to have a repeat of What's Michael.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised about it from What's Michael, but this one, you'd have to be really careful with these colours.
So only 2 chapters I want to look at in depth. But we can have a little glance at the other chapters.
Yep.
So this is like a gambling story.
I love those colours.
Yeah. So good, tritone, I guess.
Yeah.
Green, red, and black in some places.
Just a tiny amount of black, maybe?
Actually, no. I think it's green and red mixed together is making that dark color.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's duotone.
Yeah, so like if they paint green on the red background.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it here. It's the green goes into the red and makes that kind of blue or dark color. So yeah, this mahjong game got violent.
Yeah, it certainly did. Whoa.
Yeah, and that's your first chapter. I guess they keep playing.
Keep playing, yep.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to stop the game.
Then we've got like an article.
Yeah, this one was like they used to intersperse quite a few articles, didn't they?
Yeah. Again, very much the art scene. So talking about what kind of artistic stuff was going on at the time. Boku wa Tenchi Janai. It doesn't say if it's a movie or what.
Yeah, interesting.
Cinema must be a movie.
Yeah, yep. Oh yeah, Roadshow.
Yeah. Oh, Roadshow, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing about these ones. They would have manga criticism and movie, like film critics, like would write articles as well. They had a bunch of that kind of stuff going on. Just looking, yeah, like you said, at the sort of the manga and pop culture kind of whole area.
Very good. Wow,
what is going on there?
I know. So various different art styles.
Yeah.
In this.
And this is a fantastic illustration of how broad the art styles in manga can be.
Yeah, so we normally what gets exported is normally what's in Jump and Shonen Sunday and things like that. But really, manga can be any style.
I remember talking to a manga artist in Japan once, and they said that it was kind of frustrating that like they felt that only that style got popular. The stuff that was in Jump.
Now
here's like, I don't want to draw like that.
Here's what I want to talk about: cat soup, right?
Nekojiro.
Yep.
Nekojiro udon.
Yep.
So cat soup noodle version, I guess.
Yep.
No, like version, but yeah, noodles. Udon noodles.
So let's go in depth on this one because they're always a lot of fun. The cat soup comics.
That's a really great point, P-Typer. Imagine if people thought movies equals Marvel. You'd be frustrated. You'd be like, that's not what I want to make.
It's a good point. Maybe we'll get to that stage one day.
Yeah.
So the girl and her brother, they're like the main characters in every chapter. And they're riding down the road on their tricycle when this blimp pops by dropping leaflets. And it's leaflets for this circus that's come to town.
Cool.
Yeah. Come to the mountain, it's saying. And I guess it's got hands coming out the blimp as well. So they talk their dad into taking them. And they take the bus. It's crowded. And there's like...
how creepy does that crowd look?
Yeah.
Just with their eyes.
So these are art style. Like everyone's got these eyes in these comics.
Yeah.
I think this author became very popular.
Nice.
I was watching some like kids cartoon on like Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
And they had like a parody of like these cat characters in there.
Oh, really?
And it was like an American cartoon. I cannot for the life of me remember which one it was, but it was an interesting homage.
Here's some nice onomatopoeia. The bata bata is like people... But what? No, actually, so that would be the flags flapping.
Flapping, right? Yeah. So a lot of strange things at this circus.
Yeah. This little centipede. Wow. Everybody excited. That's the crowd going wild.
Acrobats.
He's got a Batman. Tattoo. I like it.
And then the ringmaster says, it's our main attraction. He's like a magician sort of thing. Okay, he comes out. This cat talks for him. He says his name is Dorga. Okay, and Dorga's going to cut this lady into pieces.
Oh no.
As part of his act.
Oh no.
So he gets his sword out and slices her up.
Oh my goodness.
Does his magic, and you see this cool like hieroglyphics pattern.
Oh yeah.
Does his magic, makes all the arms and legs and that fly around, and she laughs and things like that. So yeah, very wild.
People get splattered with blood.
Yeah. And the kids love it, I bet. Anyway, then he puts her back together again.
Ta-da!
So,
Nice. And the crowd goes
really
wild.
good magician. But the girl notices
Pushy, pushy.
there's the blood's gone.
Mm.
Okay, that's kind of important.
The plot thickens.
As usual, the dad has no emotion.
Oh yeah, that's a running thing.
That's a running thing. The dad's just always making that face
Great.
and just going along with the flow. He then says that Dorga is going to make anything from like his breath.
Yeah. Oh,
So
okay.
he makes the word isu,
That's
which
cute.
means chair in Japanese, and it turns into a chair.
Nice. Quite a comfy looking chair indeed.
And so people are calling stuff out. Sakana means
Want a
fish.
fish.
Yep. So sakana turns into a sakana.
Yeah.
She says kinzo, so a golden elephant,
Mm.
and he makes that happen. So the show goes on, the show finishes, everyone comes out, and she says, hey, that was great. He can make, I wonder if that person can make anything. So she says, I'm going to ask him. And so she goes off, leaves her dad and kid brother there. Goes to the back of the circus, very creepy clown there.
Yeah.
Finds him.
Bit
You
of a
know-
creepy aesthetic. Oh, and he's hanging out with the golden elephant.
Yep. Excuse me, Master Dorga. Can you really make anything? He doesn't say anything. Remember that cat talked for him?
Yep.
So can you make the mountains? Can you make the sky? Even anything like big like that, can you make it?
Oh, I just realized he's sitting on the seat as well that he made.
Yeah. And then she asks him, what is God?
Mm.
And then you might be able to help me with the Japanese here. He says, "Me wa utsuro," so what's reflected in your eyes, sort of thing, what your eyes see. Sono me ni utsuru mono mo mata utsuro. So the reflections you see, your eyes see,
Yeah. Will be
are
reflected.
also reflections,
Yeah.
or will be reflected.
Will be, well, reflected again, or like mata is like again.
Yeah,
Or like yet still.
yeah, or maybe it's saying like
It's very poetic.
what your eyes see is just like images,
Yeah.
and so they're not real.
And that again
'Cause they're
becomes
just-
a reflection.
Yeah, they're just reflections, right, of the real world.
Yeah.
And then he says the world's like, an illusion sort of thing.
Yeah.
He says that he's a nihilist.
Mm.
He believes that like nothing exists. And so the elephant disappears. Yeah, so he explains, it means nothing exists, then he disappears. Then the tent disappears. She says, Otosan runs after
Runs
her
after her
dad
dad.
and her brother. Then they disappear. And
Oh,
then
no.
the whole world disappears.
Oh, wow.
She's like, nanda kore, what is this? Yada yo.
No.
And that's the end.
Wow.
It's a bit of a bummer ending.
Wow. Well, that's the other thing about Garo. They don't have to have happy endings.
Yeah, no, they do not.
Man, that was fun.
Yeah. I didn't really read this one in depth. It's very wordy. But some interesting artwork.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's got some
A little bug man over there.
fun things going on.
Some kind of like a lifestyle story, I guess you could call it. There was one more chapter I wanted to talk about.
That person does not have a lot of hair.
No, I'd say they're meant to be very young.
Yeah.
Something about telling the time in this one.
Yeah.
This one was interesting.
You can make a manga about anything.
I kind of recognise the art style from this one. I think this is an author I've seen before.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about these two. They're kind of on the run. And so these two men with a boat, they're going to take them down the river. They organise for them to come on board, and they hide the girl in there. And I'm not sure if this is a girl pretending to be a boy or what.
Yeah.
But they make the boy hide underneath like a straw mat.
Smuggling him in.
Yeah. So they go under a bridge at some point, and they're worried they're going to be seen.
Weird shot of him looking down under himself.
I think he's trying to get a response because this person like just doesn't talk at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting view of like the old Japanese countryside,
Yeah.
the rice paddies.
Yeah. It's funny, I was just thinking it's the kind of thing you see when you go and buy on the Shinkansen.
Yeah.
Some things don't change.
No, a view of Japan that does not change. Or may open up an outlet to take the boat through.
It's cool artwork.
Yeah. Interview. We might skip ahead. Now, some chapters are a bit too hot for YouTube, so I've
Too hot for Twitch, that's for sure.
put a little paperclip over them. Skip them. There's a funny little gag manga. Here we go. Here's the next chapter I want to have a look in depth because this is kind of cool and artistic. So we've got it's kind of down here, tranquilizer tea, because I know this is like sleeping powder.
Right.
That's blood, and I don't know this one, but maybe blood cider. So maybe they've got the English down here.
Disturbing. What is this one about?
It's interesting. So here's this character, right?
Yep.
And the whole thing's like a big abstract painting.
Yeah.
She goes into this house saying, "Oh, my head's gotten too wide."
Okay.
And it's hurting.
Like their head is just hurting because it's feeling wide.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Here's a virus
Right.
made big,
Yep.
like the actual like virus cell sort of thing. Knocks on like the like this cabinet door.
Yep.
Opens it up. There's a little person in there,
Oh yeah.
and asks if like it's okay if she comes in. And she explains that her head's gotten too wide.
If it's that wide, how do they get in the cupboard?
And
Just
saying,
saying.
well, I think this is just saying, you know, what do I do if it becomes this
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
yeah,
size?
I admit that would be a worry if your head was feeling wider than normal.
And she says, well, you know, have you tried going to a doctor? And she's like, no, I don't want to do that.
Let's face it. You wouldn't. You'd just be like, what are they going to do to help me?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very niche problem.
Yeah, right.
So then she spots some scissors and tries cutting it.
Oh,
but
no.
it must be part of her because there's a little bit of blood coming off.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good idea at all.
The person says, doesn't it hurt? And she says, just a bit.
Oh.
And then she says, I'm going to like dilute it
Yep.
with this. Okay, with the tranquilizer,
The
although
blood dilute-
here it says cider apple.
Right. Yep. Apple cider.
Yeah.
That's always a very healthy thing to add to stuff,
Yeah.
apparently. I gotta put it out there. I would go to the doctor before trying to cut off part of my head.
Absolutely. Well, like, you would, you know, could be easily mistake it for hair because your head should
yeah, it
stop
does kind
about
of look
there.
hairish.
Is it delicious? Maybe.
Yeah. So.
She buries her hair and then
Nice.
gets to the point where she can just like pull it off now without it bleeding. Unwraps it. Oh, this was inside.
A person was inside her hair.
Yeah,
Wow.
this little person, but it's just half of them.
Oh no. Did she cut the other half accidentally?
Well, yeah, you know.
no.
Oh, maybe. And so she digs up the other half, brings it back, and they stitch him together.
Oh dear.
And then it wakes up.
Oh. Phew.
Yeah. Haji very much there. Nice to meet you. and then she explains that, you know, now there's another one of her.
Yep.
He picks up a lighter and says, "Can I use this?" And he uses it to make stars.
That's
all
cool.
these lamps,
Yep.
sort of thing. And yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
At the bottom it says, "So that's that" in English. Oh, you can't see it on the video.
Nice. Yeah, it's just cut off a little bit. There we go. So that's that. Yeah. With the date.
I hope all the other scenes are.
Yeah. It's just that tiny bit at the end.
Next one's Too Hot for YouTube. Which is a shame because the art's really cool.
That is cool. Oh,
but yeah, those are the two most interesting ones in here.
very cool.
Some like gag stuff.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. But like very different art styles. for
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Like this one's blending photos in there.
That's cool.
Yeah. One of them is very shoujo kind of picture.
That's the thing. It massively varies, doesn't it?
This one was cool, but a bit gross.
Oh. Maybe we should just get that one too then.
But I liked at the end of this one where it just goes to kind of more realistic.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like The Crow
Yeah.
kind of pictures.
Dramatic ending.
Yeah. Yeah. Then this one just looks like a kind of a shoujo style.
Like the staircase.
Yeah. And some of these are quite short chapters.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, 6 pages, and some of them are
That's the thing about
much
being
longer.
experimental.
Like
you want to
16.
experiment with the whole format, length, and everything.
Yeah.
What's with the graph?
Gyamburu Shinbun. Something about gambling, and the graph is... I don't know, the text is so small.
So
the
tiny, yeah.
kanji lines have,
They just get blurred.
got blurred together because of the ink.
Oh, well. It's okay, it doesn't matter. I was just curious why they had a graph in there.
Pachisuro, so something about pachinko machines.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Our old friends come back to haunt us.
Yeah, no Evangelion pachinko machines in those days. If you want, you should check out our Evangelion Pachinko
We did
YouTube video.
video on that.
Yep. All these get backed up on YouTube, so check them out. Yeah, I didn't really read the rest of this. But yeah, that's Garo magazine.
Wow.
Oh, I thought
Cool.
might finish on this page.
Yeah.
Very different.
It's very different style again. Yeah.
But very like striking and, you know, stands out.
Yeah.
So if you're artistic, Garo is definitely a good little magazine to check out. If you're in Japan and somewhere that has them, I've been in a few. Well, I've been in a few. Like you find it in the oddest places.
Oh, really?
At like restaurants.
Oh, they just like had it there.
You know those kind of hipster restaurants.
Oh yeah. Where they'll have a few things.
Have a few specialty things around the place.
That's cool.
And cafes and that. I've seen it. So, yeah.
Very cool.
What'd you think?
I love it. I always love flicking through Garo and looking at all of the very different things in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's good to read stuff that's offbeat.
Yes.
Like, you never know what's going to come up.
Yeah. And you'd never find it anywhere else.
Yeah. Kind of that odd movies are fun to watch, like David Lynch and, who's the guy that did The Fly? Cronenberg, things like that.
But not right before bed.
No. No, you need to, dilute it with other stuff before going to bed. Like some apple cider.
Nice. Very cool. Well, if you do happen to be on YouTube, please consider liking and subscribing.
Absolutely.
That would be cool.
Helps us out.
If you're on Twitch.
Might help spread it.
Yep. If you're on Twitch, give us a follow.
Yeah.
Why not?
9 p.m. AEST, Australian Eastern Standard Time. You can just type that into Google and it'll tell you what that is in your exact area.
Indeed.
Okay.
Very fancy.
Well, we might leave it there and say sayonara.
Sayonara. Mangaplaining next time.
Bye-bye.